Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Definitely appreciate the support. We're going to get back into the video. I want to quickly go over my defensive line adjustments on Mut. I've gotten questions on what I put on my players because you guys saw a video of my defensive line putting in the work. Okay, so excuse me for the lack of technical knowledge on the Mut side in regards to the verbiage and things of that nature. But again, I'm just going to show you what I put on there, and then maybe you guys can help me out into maybe optimizing what I have, because maybe I have something mixed up here. So what I put on the X factor, I have my guy John Randall here, and I select higher chance to defeat blocks and disrupt catches. And this is an X factor, and what that means is in order for this to work, something has to happen for it to be in operation. So he has to make sacks or tackle for losses. I don't know how many. Hopefully it's just one sack or one tackle for loss, and then this activates where now he has a higher chance to defeat pass blocks. For his abilities, I think this is probably the top dog here. Dominant pass rush moves from the interior, and you see it costs 3 AP, and I'm telling you it's worth it. Okay, in my previous video, I'm pretty sure you guys saw, there was a play where Mr. Randall did like a spin move on the left guard and forced the quarterback to have to move up into the pocket. And then my guy out here wrapped back around and hit him with the ball coming out, and then we got an interception, right? I'm telling you, well, I don't even have to speak on it. You guys can watch it for yourself. My defensive line has just been on a tear, okay? And that's because I firmly believe if you're going to have your best players, if they're on the defensive line, your entire defense becomes so much better. As opposed to if your best player is a safety or a corner, yeah, you're better in the secondary, but it doesn't really make the entire defense better. If your defensive line are monsters, you can make, Apple look like a decent corner, right? You can make a bad corner look like a good corner if your defensive line is really, really good. And then you could run a lot of different schemes too. I could run a cover 2 scheme only, like Lovie Smith or Tony Dungy, with a defensive line like this. And maybe I just came up with an idea to do that, but we'll just move on. So that's a whole nother aspect in itself. You got to have the personnel to match the scheme that you are trying to run. Okay, so that's one thing I think I can respect about Mut. If you want to develop a specific scheme, this would be the place to do it, right? So Bruce Smith, we'll see what I have on him. Higher chance to defeat pass blocks and disrupt catches. Obviously the same thing. Okay, and then what I have over here is add pass rush point to all linemen on 3rd and 4th down. I have this on Randall as well. So I talked too much. I missed that third one. So it'll add a point to all of the linemen on 3rd and 4th down. And then I have a +1 with Randall as well. So I don't know if it adds it. So do all of the linemen actually get a +2? And, maybe that's what's been going on. But we'll move forward. And I don't know if you have to manually select the defensive lineman for that to work. But, I just picked these abilities hoping that it does. So my other guy, Kobe Turner, so this will be the final X factor. What do you know? Same thing. Okay, so we see I have a premium on trying to get to the quarterback, and what do you know? I want to add pass rush point to all linemen on 3rd and 4th down. So, if this works, and I think it does, now every lineman on 3rd and 4th down, they get additional rush points, +3 on 3rd and 4th down. And where do you need a premium on pass rush? Which down? 3rd and 4th, right? Those are the most important downs. Okay. So I want to show you, oh, and also, this is just my belief. If you have an end, I'm a 4-3 guy. Okay. If I have to pick 3 guys that I want to be monsters, I can only pick 3, right? I want these guys, right? I want yeah, you could have it to where it's like this, but I want a premium on rushing the quarterback up the middle of the field, putting pressure on the middle of the pocket. And it causes so many problems in regards to the passing game. And so I'm going to go to Myles Garrett because, you know, I have something on him. I think he has an X factor, but I don't know if this actually activates because you can only pick 3. So maybe you guys can help me out. When I saw this, he has to sack the quarterback 5 times and we have to get 5 sacks for this to work. I changed it immediately because to me, that's just not, I think that's too much action that has to happen for that to activate. So you mean to tell me I gotta wait till like the 4th quarter for him to begin to be dominant? I'd rather have something that's a little bit more practical. So what do you know? I picked that. So now if we just make sacks or tackle for losses, now he has a higher chance to defeat pass blocks and disrupt catches. So that's that. We'll move on to the 4th game here. So I think I went over these 3 games. Pretty cool stuff. And in this game, for whatever reason, at the beginning of the game, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to try to run this entire game only playing single high coverages. So like cover 1, cover 3 sky, etc. And I want to see how it goes. Now, I actually bailed on this concept, I think, after the first couple of drives. But so just keep in mind, that's what I'm just running here. He runs gun tight offset tight end. So I'm like, hey, I can run cover 1. And you guys should know in Mut, when I play defense, I'm trying to find different things. I'm not running like the optimal stuff. I'll probably run just cover 1 hole with an adjustment, but I'm trying to find pressure packages. Okay. Sometimes I hate just sitting in practice mode doing it. I like to do it on the field, on the fly. Okay. So I'm trying to figure out a way to get a free path to the quarterback with this blitz. So I'm like, let me play a cover 1 with the blitz. So I chose this. And if you didn't watch my cover 1 video, definitely go check it out, where obviously we know about the divider lines and a corner. If you have a wide receiver out here, when you're playing cover 1, okay, how you play in regards to inside or outside leverage depends on where you are in respect to this divider line. So because you are outside the divider line, you actually play with inside leverage, not outside leverage on this wide receiver. But there's an extra caveat to that, where this corner wants to play top shoulder against this receiver. So if he goes up the field, you obviously want to be on the top of this receiver, top shoulder, okay? And that's because if you're underneath, that's just a free touchdown over the top, because again, the safety's not going to be able to help with the deep because he's obviously playing more so inside the numbers. As opposed to if you're inside the divider, we all know that you need to play with outside leverage because you're playing to your help. Okay, when you're outside, your help is the sideline. When you're inside the divider line, your help is the middle of the field, the deep middle safety, or the pluckable player. Okay, but you're not playing, this was what the last video was about, but you're not playing top shoulder when you do that, when you're inside the divider. You want to play low shoulder. Okay, so go watch that video. I go over that and I show you a clip from Nick Saban talking about that. And to replicate it in the game, all we have to do is press the underneath coverage with our defensive adjustments, but you need to make sure you can't do it if there are receivers outside the divider, because if you do that, well then now they're going to play underneath, right? And it's just going to be wide open for a touchdown. However, if the entire formation is tucked inside the divider line, well now we can utilize that concept and now everyone will play underneath low shoulder when you do that. Now, one thing I also went into that video is where if you have the entire formation inside the divider line, and let's say this guy is out there, you may think, okay, well, we can't run that coverage, right? Well, you still could, where you play underneath, but now you just have to use it as corner so he plays it correctly, top inside shoulder, right? So that allows us to play this type of defense against a lot of different formations, okay? So I'm running it here. And I want you guys, what I do, I play the deep middle safety, and what I like to do is I favor, since the ball's on the hash, I favor more this side. I'm really making sure that these players don't run deep seam or deep post up the middle of the field. And then once I confirm if they're both running inside, that's when I really favor this side of the field, knowing that I don't have to worry over the top to this side, right? And usually when players are on the LOS, there's a higher likelihood of them running deeper routes as opposed to the player behind them. Okay, so just keep that in mind when you're looking at formations. This is where different formations can kind of key off what type of routes or concepts that they are trying to run. So I did all that, and he actually ran the ball instead. So, I wasted my breath. Here I'm running cover 3 sky, but I like to switch the responsibilities on these two players on the outside, and I do that for leverage issues. He plays the flat a lot better, and it confuses a lot of different players when I do this. So I'm just going to play outer third. He's going to play cloud flat. And what I like to do is I like to attach to the final number 1 on this side, outside shoulder and over the top. Okay, so if I get a route combination like, let's say he goes like this, and we get like this, okay, well then I'm riding upfield and then I'm attaching here. Okay, he's running to our help. Okay, and that's because, again, you're almost never getting double corners. Okay, that's just not, if this is just such a rare passing concept. In most cases, it doesn't make sense to run something like that. Okay, you don't necessarily have to worry about that. But, you know, why don't we just move forward, because now I'm getting a little bit too far ahead of myself. And as you see, when they both go inside like that, this is where, well, I don't have to play outer third anymore. I can look to help out something crossing back up across the field. Right, we don't want to drift off into space. Anyways, with all that said, he throws to the flat. So, you know, had I have had him in a hard flat, you know, maybe he would have, not even maybe, he would have been in better position for that. But I like to start off in cloud flat and let the ball take you to make the play. And then once I get a feel for what my opponent likes to do, if he always does that, well, then maybe I will change him to hard flat. Okay, my first drive, a couple of drives against players, it's really, you know, a scouting report. You're trying to get a feel for what they like to do against the different things that you present. So here I was trying to stick to my guns while playing cover 1. And he just kind of dinked and dunked up the field. Okay, so kudos to him. He was patient driving up the field. He runs gun spread Y flex, and I decided to run 2 invert. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to man up this player on the back, and what that does is it activates cover 2 match, where if both of these receivers run vertical routes, he will match this route underneath inside. And if I change him to soft squat, then he would match this player up the field. Okay, and then what's my job? To match the final number 3. Okay, for whatever reason, I changed him to a hard flat here, and I think it probably had something to do with what I was seeing him do or attack up the field. Okay, but again, every player is different, and you got to make adjustments to the opponents that you play. So I'm favoring the right side of the field, waiting for the final number 3, and it's going to end up being that player there. So I came a little bit late. I undercut the ball. He should put more air on the ball, and this is where I should get an interception, and I dropped the ball. Look at how I'm playing that cover 1 deal. Okay, look at how sticky we are to these routes, right? So I'm telling you, definitely implement this into your game. He found the one guy that was open. Okay, and what pissed me off when I re-looked at this, because I recorded this video, this is my 3rd time trying to record it due to issues here, but you're going to see this guy block, and because he's man-to-man with him, he just stays in QB spy, right? So this is one of the perils of Madden developers. They don't give us flexibility and options. We should be able to have the option to where you can select, hey, if your linebacker is man-to-man on the back and he blocks, what do you want him to do? Do you want him to play QB spy? Do you want him to play like a robber over the middle of the field? Do you want him to double the tight end, right? Do you want him to green dog, etc.? You should be able to have that option, but we don't have that, right? So what I do as the deep middle safety, again, since the ball is over here, I favor more over here. And I'm making sure these inside guys are not running up the seam. That's rule number 1. And when I see these guys cutting inside, now I can favor more to this side of the field. And this is where I'm like, all right, now I'm just going to play over the top of this guy. So he's viced. He's playing proper. Look, underneath. I mean, you would like for him to be closer, but those are probably man ratings, right? But, you know, you would have to make a perfect throw here. And this is where the help is, the safety, us. And he's locked in there. He's pretty sticky on his low shoulder, right? This guy just happens to open up. So, you know, you'll never not give up anything, right? So that's okay. Next play, we actually get A gap pressure. So again, I'm picking this play over and over again because I'm trying to find a way to get a free path to the quarterback, and we actually get it here. So I think I slanted the defensive line weak, and what you're going to see is the center get hooked up with this guy, and this guy comes scot-free. And you really can't beat a simulation of cover 0 pressure while playing cover 1 in the back end, right? Look at how clean that is. There's just not enough time for him to get rid of the ball. And now we have a sack. So I think I fast forward a couple of plays, and here's where I make a mistake here. So again, check out my video on cover 1. I'm playing the underneath coverage here while playing cover 1 man. So we're going to play underneath like low shoulder. All right. And this is good because they're inside the divider. The problem is this guy isn't. So what I should have done is user this player. So now I can play proper inside top shoulder technique, and then the rest of the defense plays perfectly the way the defense is designed to play, right? So instead, you know, I was being brainless, and I'm like, you know, I hope he just doesn't run a go pattern. Because if he runs like a slant or underneath pattern, this guy's going to play underneath it. Okay, so that's what I was hoping. And you're going to see me make a horrible mistake. Okay, now pay attention. He's on the LOS and he's off, so it's a higher likelihood that he's running a deeper pattern. Okay, so this is what I should be looking at over here with the 2 receiver side. Making sure nobody runs a post or a seam, right? That's my job. And here I see a guy running to the deep middle of the field right into me. So that's an interception. Look at how we are low shoulder here. I think he ran like a drag. That's not open. He's playing low shoulder. You would like for him to be closer, but again, this is probably man ratings. But again, the help is to the middle of the field. He got beat pretty badly, but again, the help is to the middle of the field, right? Now he got beat because he ran that deep go, so I should have been user in this player, and this play probably would have turned out a million times better if that wasn't me, because I just gave that up. So I was pissed. So he ran a good play, and he probably threw it thinking that, you know, I'm garbage, and he was right. I messed up there. So this is my audibles, guys. I want to show you what my scheme is. I will turn this guy into wide receiver post. I have all videos on the scheme from gun spread Y slot. Wide receiver post, HB draw, I turn him to levels divide, which is this play here. That's not correct there. I'm just moving really fast with my controller, and then I keep that as PA tight end wheel. But I'll show you what I have done to expand my offense really quickly. I've expanded to the spread formation. This is one of the plays, the play action play. This is another play, flanker dig, and this is the running play. And curl flats is the final one. So I run curl flats, RPO zone peak. I just changed this guy to flanker dig, and this is my scheme from spread. But I also, what I do is, because it's a 4 wide receiver deal, I substitute the tight end here. And the reason why I do that is because when I do that now, because I run no huddle, I can audible from spread to gun spread Y slot. So now I have all the audibles from spread and gun spread Y slot at my disposal. So I run 3 different formations now. I run doubles, singleback doubles flex as well. So that's just my scheme. And then I come out in spread gun Y slot. That's my first play every game, and I check out of that play into the plays against what my opponent is playing. Okay, so that's my scheme. So I can guarantee you, I ran that ball, and I probably noticed during the play that this guy dropped down and he played deep middle. So now I know you're disguising coverage and you're playing a single high coverage. So I'm like, let me check in the levels divide. You guys should know the concept here. Go watch my video on that. Basically, what I'm going to do is, he will tell me everything that I need to do. Okay, if he stays post snap, he plays quarters, deep half, then my eyes stay and I'm working the level side. However, if he leaves, he comes down or he plays deep middle because it's cover 3, then my eyes leave because I'm attacking the single high beating side, the seam comeback pattern. So right here in the play, my eyes are already flying over here because now I'm working seam to comeback. I like the comeback, and we get a nice 16-yard gain. Go to C cross, Z cross. I see single high, so now I'm going to check into a single high beating play. I should check into curl flats here. Okay, so that's the play. And with this play, this is just the same thing as the Hank passing concept. It's just a little variation. We have the back running this little angle route as opposed to the tight end running the over the ball route. But everything is the same with this play. Okay, and what I like to do here, I'm just working off of this player. He's going to tell me everything I need to do post snap. And when he goes up like that, I already know I'm going here, right? We're throwing to the flat, completely unafraid of this guy driving on like a hard flat. And the reason why that is because he is the outer shell of the coverage in single high, right? He theoretically cannot drive on that. Because if he drives on that, no one's here for the deep outside throw, right? That's why it's important to kind of understand the outer shell of the coverage and where you can attack, knowing that you're good on throwing certain balls, right? So second defender in is playing up, so he's wide open. I'm just allowing the play to kind of develop, and I throw out to the flat. And when this happens and I see this guy flying from the defensive line, look how we get 14 yards on a simple flat. That tells me that he's doing some funky stuff from the defensive line. So this is the final audibles that I make with my scheme. I keep blunt dive, but then I add a second running play, the stretch running play right there. I run, I've gotten so, there it is, the PA play. So I'm kind of slowing the trigger there. And I have another play to beat cover 0 there, but I couldn't pause it fast enough. So we'll move on. I don't necessarily, oh, there, oh, look at that. D-line pressure. Let's go back. Let's take a look at our big boy here. Okay, so when you have defensive line, so this is the PA play. Now we can get into creating certain fronts to get favorable matchups. So I might start doing this. I might press start, check the offensive line, look for the weakest offensive lineman, and put my best pass rusher in one-on-ones with that player with certain fronts. So I can guarantee you, with this front, this guy's one-on-one with this guy. And the reason why, it's just so hard for this guy to come over and double team him, because if he was, then this guy would have the angle on this player, right? This is where, you know, utilizing like an under front, and they would have like Warren Sapp, or, you know, your quick D tackle as your under tackle. You would create one-on-ones with like the under front, where the one would be over this guy, so it forces the center to kind of turn this way. He's forced with this guy, and now you have a one-on-one here, right? So we'll see what happens here. Look at that, right? Guaranteed one-on-one here, and my guy gets destroyed. So on the back end, I think I was running a sort concept. No, I was running cover 9. Okay, when you run cover 9 against empty, it's very important to understand this. They're playing quarters on this side of the field, so this side of the field is completely independent of this side of the field, and what that forces you to do as the 3-rec, you have to match the final number 3. If you don't use this player while playing cover 9, you can give up an easy big throw over the deep middle of the field, because they really don't have it coded to where he will match the final number 3. You're forced to do that in cover 9 because the backside safety is tied up in the quarters concept on this side of the field. If they're running trips, if this guy was in the backfield and you play cover 9, then he would cheat over, you're stealing the backside safety to play the final number 3 from the strong side. But again, this is why it's important to kind of understand formations and the defense that you're running, okay? So I know I have to match the final number 3, so I'm looking for the final number 3. When he goes outside, now I know I can just kind of peel and help out my guys there. Oh, is that another play? I thought that was the same play I showed with the first sack. So we got another. Let's see what happened. Yeah, he's forced to step up, and our guy again just causing problems, guys. Here, oh, I made a mistake, guys. It's, man, I like seeing this because I see, you know, a lot of my mistakes are really just technical mistakes on me. I'm playing cover one and I'm playing the underneath coverage. And what's wrong with that, guys? Right? The divider lines are more so here now because of where the ball is. I would say more like here. So it's not too bad, but the problem is this player here, right? If he runs a deep go, he's going to play underneath like low shoulder, and that's just wide open. So right now I'm thinking, you know what you can do against this? What we can do is, wow, man, football is just so, it's fun. What you could do is we could just change this guy to a deep half, right? And then run this underneath coverage. So this would be a, remember 4-2-2-0, right? 2 zone, 2 man, 0, 3, 1, 2 zone, and then you have the variance under here. This would be a 2-man variant where we're playing deep half and this guy's deep middle, right? It would be a different variant, and then we're playing underneath low shoulder technique. So I knew what I was doing. What I was doing, I was trying to show double high wide. Hey, we are definitely in deep half. Please don't go a deep a deep go pattern because I'm playing underneath coverage. That's a horrible idea, right? So I learned my lesson here. I mean, now he's just wide open. So that's on me, but I'm glad me sitting here thinking about that. I can start running some 2-man variants. Wow, man, I'm thinking about, you know, that. It's really interesting thinking about it. Maybe I'll share it a little bit later. I hate thinking on the fly because I may take a long time when I'm thinking. So we'll just go ahead and fast forward some of this boring stuff here. I'm just moving up the field gracefully. I don't remember what happened here, but I'm running Z cross, I guess. Okay, with Z cross, it's a progression read for me. I'm reading 1 to 2 to check down. And a lot of times what I like to do, because most players play the middle of the field, I always like pump. And I pump fake early. So I probably did it here. I didn't. But he bit on that underneath drag, so we got it in. 2-point conversion. Oh, pump. Oh, it's just filthy. Fit it right in that tight window there. We'll move on. So here I'm playing pounder on this side, and we're playing regular quarters deal on this side. I know I'm relating to the final number 3. I'm not going to go over this defense. Go check out my videos on pounder, and my video, I believe it's a how to defend gun tight formations part 4. I went over how you can play one double high defense on one side of the field and a totally different double high defense on the other side of the field. The whole point of double high is we keep a +1, right? So the idea is we get 3/2 on this side of the field, and we get 4/3 on this side of the field. That's the whole point of double high type defenses. We like to think that we have the advantage in that scenario. Now, you can get into the world to where you can steal this guy to this side of the field, and now we get 5-on-3 on this side of the field, but then now you're 1-on-1 on this side of the field. That's where you get in like the cover 9 deal, steal coverage. Okay, so, you know, go check out my videos on that stuff. I don't remember why I was doing it. Sometimes you just want to throw something different at your opponent. And right here, this would be the final number 3. I drive on it, and we get a minimal gain. I think somebody popped open over here. I want to see if the defensive line, were they able to kind of get some heat? Let's see. Yep. Look how he ripped open. He just kind of wanted to get rid of the ball. Maybe not great defensive line play, but good enough for me. It's just, that's just not even real, guys. So he's doubled. He's doubled, guys. And just annihilates both of them and rips inside. That's just gorgeous stuff. So, you know, definitely incorporate. So this is what I was thinking, guys. I was thinking on the fly there. What if we played a cover one robber against this? And because it's inside the divider line, right? We play underneath coverage. But on the wide side of the field, we just turn this guy into a deep half. Right? So now it will look something like this. So, you know, that's something I think I'm going to play with. So I think that's a little bit interesting there. I don't remember what defense I played there, so I'm not going to go over that. Here we get 4th and 8, so this is a pivotal down. I was pissed off here because I actually wanted to motion him all the way over into trips and turn him into an out. Didn't have enough time, so I'm obviously working 1 to 2, hoping that he would drive on the 1. Look how I have to step kind of like in the pocket and deliver into that window there. Having a pretty good game. We'll just move forward. Okay, just moving down the field. This is my play action play here. I was running a lot of stretch play. And I cancel the play right here. I just like how the feeling of it. Step back in the pocket and look at that window there for that little post there underneath that deep middle safety. I just put too much air on it. So that's fine. I think this is a play that pissed me off. Okay, I pumped there. Again, I'm looking for this guy here, right? Wide open, right? What are you supposed to do, right? Look what he does. He sits there. I just don't even understand it. Like, so now I have to kick a field goal, right? So we literally leave points on the board because my computer animated character had a brain for himself and thought, I don't want to run the route that the game is telling me to run. I don't even understand why he didn't. If someone can tell me why that happens, I don't understand. It's not like he hit the back line either. He just said, I don't want to run the route. I don't feel like it. I don't get it. All right, stuff like that like really irritates me. So I'm running a cover 3. Oh my goodness, like it's just like, guys. Like, so this is why I put this in the replay. I put the shift. Again, because I want one-on-one here, right? If he's on fire, I want the front where it's a higher likelihood to where we can get a one-on-one. So let's see if that's what happens. It is. So again, we're getting into the world of creating certain fronts to get one-on-one matchups. If we would have kept the front before, it's easier to double team him, right? It's easier. But if this guy's in a zone, I want you one-on-one. So we're going to shift this way to get the one-on-one, right? That shift alone, it's harder for him to double him, right? And if they do decide, well, we're still going to try to double him, like I stated earlier, well, now this guy's at a disadvantage because he's, you know, inside shoulder attacking the pocket, right? So, I mean, this front alone, it just causes problems here. We get that one-on-one that we want, and he just dominates that guy. I mean, I'm telling you, man, put your stuff on the defensive line. All 3 of them, right? This guy's on fire. So here's another front. This is the nickel triple, where it puts, I believe, a linebacker here, and then I make adjustments to where I have my defensive line here. Okay, so it's a weird defense that I like. So I want to make videos on it. I'm running cover 6 here, I believe, or cover 3 maybe. This looks like, yeah, it's cover 3 cloud. like, look at, guys, and I remember this interception too. He gets doubled here. He just rips and rips and rips, and he puts pressure on the quarterback. What I'm doing here is a cloud flat. This is why I love cover 3 cloud. It gives the illusion that we are in the double high coverage, but we're actually playing single high, right? And I'm able to be a lot more aggressive underneath. So look, I'm riding outside hip, giving the illusion that I'm running with this player. And when I see a guy coming inside underneath, I'm attacking that. And it's harder for him to process information with this guy on fire right in his face. It's just beautiful, right? Defensive touchdown. I mean, we just have to watch that again. I mean, yeah, he didn't get the sack, but he impacted the play. That's the prime example of the defensive line making the rest of the players better, right? Prime example. Like, they don't get credit for that play, but they really should. So I'm not going to go over this one because I'm talking too much. This is a variant or a defensive coverage that you can create because you know the rules, but basically we're trying to double this player here. I'm going to play outside leverage knowing that, oh, this is where we get another interception, so I have to go over this. I think I'm running quarters regular defense, and what that does is he's 2-to-1. So we're running pounder over here, okay? And then I know that if he goes vertical, one of these players are going to pin over to take the vertical of number 3 inside. And I said one of these players because if this player goes inside, then he cuts him, and then he replaces his responsibility, and he'll take the inside throw of the number 3, right? So knowing that if this guy goes out, then he'll take him, and then he'll take the vertical of number 3. Either or, I know I have a player in this defense who will take the vertical inside of number 3. So why not play outside and even try to play almost like an underneath if you can? Okay, the problem is if he were to run like a corner route and this guy's running something deep and then he's pinned on that and you're playing under, that would be a problem, right? And also we're a linebacker against a receiver. So I'm just playing underneath. Look how I tried to get outside, and once he cuts inside, I just let him go, knowing that someone's there. And look at the corner sitting there waiting for it. So you can watch that again. Watch how he's going to take the tight end in the cut, and now he replaces the safety. So I believe this will be it. Here I'm playing stress on this side of the field. You turn this guy into a deep third, and then there's rules you go through and process during the play. I got to make a video on this. And I knew he was running this concept because he kept running it, so that allows me to be aggressive and overtake this, knowing that these 2 routes over the top will be taken care of, and we get an interception. So I believe that is the video, guys. I hope it wasn't too long, and I hope you got something from this video. But I think the main point of this video is if you invest your resources in regards to your AP points and your X factors to your defensive line, I can't tell you the enormous amount of benefits you'll get from doing that. So I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you keep coming back for more, man. Peace.